Hey guys, welcome back to BMW Blog YouTube channel and welcome to California. The reason why I'm here today is to test drive this BMW M4 GTS. Surprisingly enough, I've never had a chance to actually test drive this car even though it came out a long time ago. With that being said, today is the day. So the BMW M4 GTS, it's the predecessor of the new BMW M4 CSL. Performance-wise, it might be a little bit slower, but when it comes to Nürburgring times, it was quite fast. So while the new M4 CSL clocked the ring at 7 minutes and 20 seconds, this one did 7 minutes and 28 seconds. And that's mostly because of this marvelous engine. So this is the BMW S55 3.0 liter 6-cylinder, but compared to normal BMW cars and also compared to the BMW M4 CSL, it is quite special, and that's because of the water injection. Yes, BMW for the first time ever introduced a water injection system into their engine for a production series car. So when it comes to performance, the BMW M4 GTS delivers around 500 horsepower and 443 pounds-feet of torque. That's enough to take the car from 0 to 62 miles per hour in about 3.8 seconds. When it comes to the design, the car is quite special, and I'm gonna walk around and give you a quick overview, but don't go anywhere because I'm gonna jump behind the wheel and I'm gonna show you how it drives too. All right, so design-wise, as you can see right here, the car sits quite low, and of course, it's decked out with a lot of M Performance parts, carbon fiber parts, and that starts with an adjustable front splitter right here. So you can see carbon fiber with a very nice touch of orange on top of it. Once again, a functional piece, and you can adjust that based on the downforce that you would like to achieve with the car. As you can hear, that's a carbon fiber hood, lightweight as you'd expect in a car that's supposed to go on the track and deliver maximum performance. You also have a functional vent right here, so another nice touch for a car that's meant to be on the track. Now moving to the side, you can see an interesting set of wheels. It's a combination of gold and orange. It looks really cool, and I remember seeing the car for the first time years back, and it's absolutely spectacular, and it goes really well with also brake yellow calipers. As you can see from the side, a typical M4 design, quite sporty, understated, in no way very classy compared to some of the BMWs that you might see today, which are a lot more bold and they tend to shock you a little bit. Of course, the car sits quite low. As I mentioned, it has a different type of suspension than your regular M4, and I'm going to talk about that in a video review as well. But then, of course, if you go to the back, you're going to notice another functional piece, and this is an adjustable racing wing. Once again, carbon fiber, so it's not only lightweight, but it's functional as well. You can adjust that to increase the downforce for your car if you want to go on the track and achieve maximum performance. Speaking of performance and improvements, of course, you will notice the titanium exhaust pipes, quad pipes like all the M cars. Not only they deliver a better sound than the regular M4, but it's also about 20% lighter than the exhaust system found in that car. M4 GTS badge, and also a novelty on the M4 GTS are the OLED taillights. So right here, you're getting the first OLED taillights in a BMW car, and that's quite unique, and they look spectacular at night, and I'm gonna show you that in the B-roll as well. First thing you're gonna notice right here, CFRP door panels from the BMW i3, once again, because of lightweight reasons. You're also getting this pull M branded to close the door, of course, like all the racing cars. Compared to the European car, you are not getting bucket seats, but you are getting regular M Sport seats, a combination of leather and Alcantara side bolsters, of course. You can see the simplified center console, lightweight as well, wrapped in Alcantara. And then, of course, you can see the steering wheel, M Sport steering wheel with Alcantara on top as well. Now, if I'm going to pull the seat back a little bit, you will notice the half cage. This is more of a fake roll cage for the US market. Due to regulations, the European cars were the only ones that received the full cage. But as you can see, half cage, still a little bit functional, painted nicely in orange. All right, so this is a quick overview of the BMW M4 GTS. As I said, only about 300 units in the US. Original MSRP was about $135,000, so quite expensive. And the car still holds the value today. But to see how it drives, come join me. I'm gonna hop inside and show you what it can do. All right, so let's go for a drive with the BMW M4 GTS. We're on the iconic and famous 17-mile drive, and once again, I am behind the wheel of the BMW M4 GTS. Quick recap, close to 500 horsepower and 443 pounds-feet of torque, 0 to 62, 3.8 seconds. I'm not gonna be able to reach the top speed today, but at least I'm gonna be able to tell you what it feels like driving a BMW track car on normal roads. Let's talk a bit more about the BMW injection system in the M4 GTS. Essentially, above 5,000 RPM, the water is sprayed into the intake through 3 injectors. The water evaporates instantly, cooling the intercooler air by about 80 degrees, so it gets down to about 115, 120 degrees. Essentially, it just lowers the charge temperature. That lower charge temperature allows for higher turbo boost without the risk of engine knock. So clearly there is a performance improvement right there. Now you might be asking, how do I know when I need to refill the water tank? Well, BMW was smart enough to tie that to the actual gas tank. So basically on track, they estimate that you will have to replace the 5-liter, 1.3 gallon of water every time you fill up the gas tank. Now, of course, on normal roads, based on the reviews that I've seen, it takes about 5-6 times refilling the gas tank before you have to actually refill the water tank. So the BMW M4 GTS, it's clearly a car made for the track. Therefore, the standard suspension was replaced with manually adjustable coilovers. Additionally, the lower front control arms are new, allowing for a sportier suspension geometry, so therefore you're getting a lot more camber to the front wheels. And speaking of track performance, the splitter and the wing, as I mentioned earlier, are actually multi-way adjustable, and they provide actual downforce in real-life scenarios. If I recall correctly from reading some of the BMW stats, they provide about 63 pounds of downforce up front and 210 pounds at the rear when you go to the top speed of 186 miles per hour, which is about 305 kilometers per hour. I've already talked about the titanium exhaust system. As I said, it's about 20% lighter than you will find in the regular M3 and M4, and you might be able to hear this inside the car, but it is quite noisy and it makes for a great sound coming out of the S55 engine. Another fun fact about the BMW M4 GTS, the divider between the cabin and the trunk is made of fiberglass, so that's definitely quite unique in a BMW car. The hood, the trunk, and even the drive shaft are all made from carbon fiber. But once again, being a track car, you will get the best performance of the BMW M4 GTS once you hit a racetrack, and that's what it was meant for. I remember talking to Bill Oberlin, the BMW Pro driver, and he was mentioning how playful the car actually is on the track, and despite being a little bit dangerous on Cup 2 tires because it's so playful, it is a joy to push around in corners. And honestly, even though I'm not going to be able to reach the top speed today, I have to go quite slow around Monterey here in Pebble Beach, I can still feel that this is a track-focused BMW, and that comes especially from the steering wheel. You're getting a lot of feedback from the road. Now, I do recall driving the BMW M4 F82, even the competition model and also the CS model, and clearly the steering has been improved in the M4 GTS. It is a lot more direct. There is no dead center here, and you're getting a lot of feedback from the road. That's exactly what you would expect for a BMW M car made for the track. So I also enjoy this quite a bit, maybe compared to some of the newer BMW steering wheels. Even though this is still an electric steering wheel, you are definitely getting a lot more feedback, and you're kind of feeling the imperfections in the road. Of course, cornering performance, I'm not going to be able to really push this car hard, but I was able to kind of go into some of the bends here and see what it feels like. It is extremely planted on the road. Granted, I am running on Michelin Cup 2 tires, so, you know, track-focused tires, and that helps quite a bit. The rear is kept in check. You are getting a little bit of a slide, of course, because of the limited slip differential, so it does allow for that playful character that the car is meant to have. As you'd expect for a weekend track warrior, the car is well balanced, and at the same time it's somewhat predictable, so you don't feel like you're driving the car and you're constantly pushing your limits. You kind of feel in control of the car at all the time. The rear end, as I said, even though it slides a little bit off you, it comes back into check if you keep all the nanny controls on, but at the same time it allows for a little bit more fun, and I'm assuming if you want to drift this car, you should be able to do it with ease. You can see I'm pushing the car a little bit here, and even though I have to keep the speed in check so I don't get pulled over, you know, I can feel the sticky tires. Basically, it's quite grippy. It turns nicely into corners, and immediately you see why this one sits above the regular M3 CS or M4 CS. Now let's talk a little bit about the DCT. So as I said, 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Once again, it's a fan's favorite, my personal favorite as well. Despite the new 8-speed automatic being quite precise and quite fast in the new BMW M3 and M4, there is really nothing like the 7-speed DCT. It's been a great transmission for a lot of BMWs, and of course we're quite sad that they removed that and you're only getting the M3 and M4 now with 8-speed auto or the 6-speed manual. But nonetheless, in this particular car, it is fantastic. Once again, very, very precise. It's made for the track, and it's just a joy to have it in the car. Clearly, the M4 GTS name only lived for one generation, and BMW decided to bring back the CSL moniker. So now all the performance cars from BMW coming forward are either going to be CS or CSL, which stands for Coupe Sport Lightweight, or even more recently, Competition Sport Lightweight. And just like the M4 CSL, this one was meant to be a more lighter car than your regular M3 and M4. Now, comparing the two, I did not have a chance to drive the M4 CSL, but I did take a ride in the car at the Goodwood Festival of Speed doing a hill climb with one of the BMW engineers, and clearly the car was extremely fast. It did feel faster than this car. Of course, it has more horsepower and it's a newer iteration of the engine. But of course, when it comes to the driving feel, I'll have to drive them probably back to back, or maybe drive the M4 CSL right after this one in the near future and see how they compare. I also recently took a look at the prices of the BMW M4 GTS, and of course, with all this craziness in the used car market, prices are starting to go up. It's still not as high as the MSRP used to be, which was around $135,000 in the US. But with only 300 units made for the Americas, then basically this car should increase in value in the future. This is a car that you're not going to be able to buy in the future, especially with the new M3 or the future M3 going fully electric. So anything with the GTS or a CSL will absolutely become a collector's item in the future. This particular car belongs to BMW USA. It's only got about 5,000 miles on it, so it is quite new. Based on the feeling that I'm getting from the road, I have a feeling that BMW of North America set up this car to be more ready for the track. The suspension is quite harsh and bouncy, so I'm assuming they set it up to be ready to jump on the track and put down some impressive performance. So clearly, daily driving, it's not as comfortable as it would be in, let's say, a regular M3 and M4. It is quite bouncy. You are feeling all the imperfections in the road, and clearly, every time you go over a speed bump or a pothole, you will feel that through your body. So it's probably not your typical BMW that you can take it for a daily spin. It's something that probably you'll want to save it for the weekend or for your track days. Now, when it comes to the M4 CSL, that car, it's a lot more domesticated. You can use that as a daily driver a lot more than the M4 GTS. But maybe this is why makes the M4 GTS quite special. Maybe this is a more raw car than the M4 CSL. It's something that you can really buy from BMW today. You are getting the M5 CS, for example, but that's once again a very business-like sports sedan. Puts down impressive performance, but it does not have the sports character that you are getting from the M4 GTS. So in a nutshell, this is a car to own if you plan to hit the track. If you live in an area like maybe California, where you have some really nice curvy roads and you can push the car, like here basically in Monterey, there's some really great driving roads, so this car will be perfect to drive here. If you live in a city like Chicago or New York and you want to daily drive this car, it might not be the best choice. So in a nutshell, this is the BMW M4 GTS. It's the first time that I'm driving the car. I'm sure there are a lot more things that we can talk about, but this is just a quick overview. And I would love to know from you in the comments below, do you feel like this is a much better buy than, let's say, the M4 CSL, which is more expensive too, or this is something that you would love to have in your garage? If you're a track enthusiast, this is definitely a BMW to consider. If you can find a decent one on the used car market with low mileage, it's something you should take a look at, especially because it's the only BMW with a water injection system. And if the water injection is not good enough for you, then maybe the OLED taillights will do the job, because they're quite unique, and if you see them at night, they are absolutely stunning. Of course, with the new BMW M3 and M4 going towards a more bolder design, with a very aggressive kidney grille and quite large, this car might fit the bill for a lot of people. It's got that very understated yet beautiful look of the F80 and F82 generation, really nice curves, sophisticated but at the same time sporty design. So I would say the F82 generation will always age quite well, and especially when you see the M4 GTS in this particular frozen gray color with the orange accents, you will know what I'm talking about. It is absolutely beautiful, and just by driving around Monterey and Pebble Beach, there were a lot of people that just stop by and take a look at the car. Actually, funny enough, there was even a Ferrari driver that stopped by to admire the car and give me a thumbs up. So with that being said, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel, and once again, I'll see you in the next one.